I'm excited for it, and the we're going to see even more tech as we move through these runners, and we get to those with the really strong numbers, the sub 12s. It's going to be really exciting to see. But the beauty of this is we get to see these runners at this current level showcase what they can do, putting it all on the line, get with an entire audience going up against one of their mutual competitors, and it's all you could ask for. And this next match is going to be no different.
Agreed. So GG's to Donatello and Drapacious on that one. Thank you for the heck of a show on that one. But eyes forward, friends. Moving on to the next matchup, we have Blackwood Recordings versus Pair Gamer on this one here. So Zark, let's talk PBs. Let's talk matchup. What are we looking for here?
And so Blackwood is the more experienced runner here. He's coming in. He PB'd as of yesterday with a 14:04, which is a really good time. He shaved 20 plus seconds off over the past week plus. He's just been plugging away at this every single night in his streams with Mrs. They've been doing their mermaid races, which is something to not set aside, is the fact that they've been doing races on a regular basis, and then going and playing Gaiden and looking very, very polished. Blackwood's mash is awesome. It's only getting better. His runs are looking smoother and smoother. And then you got Pair Gamer, who's relatively new to the scene, and he's been pushing his time down very quickly. I mean, coming into this event, he was up in the 15s, I think close to 16s. Right now, he's at a 14:28. He PB'd 2 days ago, and he's been really grinding away at it, just working on his fundamentals, figuring things out, and seeing those results. It's been really great watching Pair Gamer over the past week plus, and seeing his evolution in his runs.
Right, you are, Zark. So Pair Gamer not a stranger to competitive racing scenarios here. So Pair Gamer definitely has come onto the scene and really picked up racing and enjoyed it very much. But Blackwood Recordings here definitely has been putting in the work, a lot of grind on this one. As you mentioned, both he and Mrs. Busy on this one. So very enjoyable to see how things have gone out here. I think I'm going to go out on a limb here, Zark. I think my prediction on this one here will be in favor of Gold tying this back up. I think Blackwood is probably going to be the pick here on this one. That's no slight against Pair Gamer by any means. Anybody's race going into this one here. But my money here is probably on Blackwood Recordings here, Zark.
Yeah, if it was a betting environment, I would say the odds would be in favor of Blackwood, just given their experience, given the amount of speed running that they've done, and the ability to stay calm under pressure, very calm presence. And from what I've just seen very recently, I think that would be a fair bet. But again, some wild mistake could take place that costs them 45 seconds, and Pair Gamer's been very consistent too. And I don't see Pair Gamer making dumb mistakes and losing 45 seconds to a minute. I don't think he's gonna die on Jackie or the Demon, so Blackwood's got to be on his game to make this happen.
And on our game will be right now, because race is underway here. Good luck to both of our runners on this one. And I will completely echo those sentiments there, Zark. I think that Pair Gamer here will definitely be right in that position to capitalize on any mistakes that Blackwood may potentially make here. But when you're in this race environment, when you know that you can't reset, I really like getting into the race psychology of the entire thing here, and really looking at it from the taking a step back and kind of thinking about how the runners are looking at this. Right now, we're looking pretty well synced up here, even after taking a little bit of a knockback there on Blackwood Recordings side at this point. So Pair Gamer definitely right there, and based on how we're synced at the moment, the first one to get into the bar. And nice spin there from Pair Gamer. Unfortunately, Blackwood getting a little intimate with the Barbarian there, just saying a little how do you do before spinning him down.
Yeah, Pair Gamer went in and did a pretty textbook kill there with the 10 Ninpo, the 2 jumps, and cleaned it up real quick. Blackwood took the knockback, so that's going to cost him about a second, but they're still close, and so nothing significant has happened to really separate them here.
Yeah, just going to be some small movements here. Don't expect to see any climbs from either of our runners here. I'd be very surprised if that is the case. Nice little flip-flop and jump there from Pair Gamer. That is definitely probably the fastest strat you can do there without having to do climbs. So going to be getting a little bit of time there on that side, but holding right, doing a good job. Going to be picking up that spin slash, going on through into the Kit Kats or the girders. These are ridiculously large girders. I don't even know why this is set up in such a way, but nonetheless, you literally have to be a ninja to work at this construction site, but I digress. Oh, Bounce House, though, proving to be some difficulty for Pair Gamer. That we talked about that being deceptively difficult, and there it is. just small little things that can add up into an avalanche of mistakes.
You know, we've all been there, but Pair Gamer really showed us the textbook of how bad that can go when you, especially when you're nervous and you need to go fast. It can go really slow.
I've had a nice little swag star going there on Paragamer's side there, but getting caught up there at the end overall. But here, BlackWoodRecordings now out in front, grabbing the fire wheel or the fire shield, whatever it may be at this point, and hopping on through, and as does Paragamer as well. So pretty straightforward, going for the bat boost here, and that's a good bat boost for BlackWoodRecordings. They're getting pushed forward instead of backward on that one. Having some difficulty there with that section, getting the okay boost on Paragamer's side there, but getting tagged by that hammer there, unfortunately. I think maybe had some cottage cheese sword, had to get pushed back, but did not take the death, thankfully. At this point, last jump on Blackwood, going to be getting to that bomber head door first, so it'll be the first one to get into stage 3. Paragamer, plenty of Ninpo.
He's got a tremendous amount of Ninpo, and he's trying to burn it. He still wasn't able to use it up, but he might try to burn it going in here.
Yeah, so he's going to have a little bit of a tick down on that one there, but, you know, it's always good to have too much versus too little going into that one, so I completely understand and respect that. BlackWoodRecordings leaving no survivors there in the beginning there, just jumping on through and taking down all 4 of those folks in the beginning there, grabbing the timer, stopping the timer, throwing the star, and very nice throw there. Good. You know, definitely showing the grind has been paying off there. And getting a difficult throw. Paragamer, no slouch either, also getting that throw there. Ooh, unfortunately, BlackWoodRecordings is getting tagged by the bird there. That's 3 health going into 3-2 down. And going into Massacre, depending on how things go with that, if things go, pardon me here, Zark, if things go pear-shaped, hopefully that's not the best thing, and you want to have as much health as possible to kind of have that buffer of safety. We'll see what happens, though.
Thankfully, he's taken no additional hits yet, but he has started to show little signs of, well, I made my first mistake, and now here's another one, but let's see if he kind of gets back on. Right now, it looks like he's getting back on script.
Oh, he's taking a boost off that gunner there, so no bumble tumble here on this one. Oh, and gets a cottage cheese sword and gets a little bird friend. Paragamer also not setting up for bumble tumble. A little wait and go move there, a little shimmy shake by Blackwood, jumping the cat, taking the extra safety on Paragamer's side, but they were both into Massacre. This is still a very close race here at the end of 3-2.
Yeah, Blackwood cleaning up real quick here. Let's see how Paragamer's doing. He's looking like he'll close it out too, which is great. They're very close.
Very good. Blackwood flexing the mash. They're getting ready as we move on to stage 4, the Murder Jungle, as we get in there. But looking pretty good though. Paragamer again, like I said, very much in that in the hunt here, nipping at the heels of Blackwood, waiting for any mistake here. Luckily, not getting a bad hammer going into that. Paragamer, unfortunately, getting tugged back. Cottage cheese sword, but had the smarts to wait for that revenge bird that pops up. It's just salt in the wound that you get when you get pushed back. Blackwood, death from above on top of the gunner there. Looks like we're going to see a similar strat from Paragamer.
It's good to see them take the safety, or at least Paragamer very officially took the safety, didn't go for the bat boost, and made sure he wasn't going to take a death there in 4-1. And he's keeping close. He's keeping Blackwood on his toes here.
There you are there, Zark. So 4-2, we're both in there. A little wait and go for Blackwood again, seeing that on the bat, and Paragamer doing the same thing. I like that, and getting a little boost up on top there. So both pretty much running a very similar script here into 4-2. I think we'll see 4-3, though, will definitely be the real decider about this one, especially if anyone takes a death there and loses that spin slash. At this level, at this point, Kelbros, a pedestal kill is not a guarantee. Blackwood's got the mash speed for it, but it definitely is a stressful thing to do, even if you've got the mash. I like that Blackwood has had 2 Pickle Ninja friends going to the end on that one instead of just 1. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, and thankfully they were just his friends and not his enemies. He only took 1 damage throughout that whole ordeal, so thankfully it's not setting him up for a rough 4-3.
So it looks like Paragamer that was going for the ladder clip, but pulled right a little bit too soon on that one, so couldn't actually get that. So a little bit of a weird moment on that when you jump over there. You can actually latch onto the ladder pretty quickly, like they're doing a quick turnaround once you hear the sound happen. It happens, not a big time loss by any means here. Blackwood working their way through, about to go to the bullet boost here, holding right, getting the jumps, getting the slash, setting up perfectly. Very, very good execution there. And moving on to the final screen of 4-3. Gonna have to pick up some Nimpo here along the way. Was going for the boost off of that Stallone, but get hung up on the wall. Again, the Ryu with the sticky fingers when you don't want them actually happens. And doing a good job grabbing the Nimpo will grab another one there. There you go. Into the door with Spin Slash. And look at this. Pair Gamer right there with we're tied up going into 5 basically at this point, Zark.
For all intents and purposes, we're tied up, and that's great. I mean, you know, they both cleared the end of 4-3 without question. Seeing them go in with Spin Slash and 5 Ninpo, that made me feel really good knowing we were going to keep this thing close.
Oh, look at this. So Blackwood took a back boost there. We are synced up again. Look how close they can high-five each other right now. Stop and go. Jump and slash. Waiting. Pair Gamer on that side, allowing to open the door for Blackwood. Blackwood hopping down. Going to be hopping up on the left side of the pillar there. Jump and go. Also, the same thing for Pair Gamer there. Good little resistance on that one. Just kind of waiting for it to happen. And stop and go here. Let's see if we get that bird boost on Blackwood's side. Kills the bird, just opts just to keep the health. Can be going very safe. Little wait and go. Throws the star out to take care of the bat. Not a problem. Same thing for Pair Gamer. He threw out the sword and just kind of waited for it. Both runners opting not to go for the safety health at this point, but we're into 5-2 here. We have a race on our hands, Zark. This deep into it already.
Yeah, and thankfully, neither of them took significant damage in 5-1. Neither obviously took a death. So, you know, this is going to be pretty even in terms of, you know, the strategies. They're going to stick close to what they normally do, I would think, which is great.
So Nimpo lead right now. Pair Gamer with more Nimpo in the pocket to work with here. Getting Spin Slash on both sides, looking to climb the way up. Health looking okay for both. Into the Dragon turrets at this point. And it looks like Blackwood looking to burn more Nimpo there for some extra safety. 20 in his pocket versus the 40 that Pair Gamer has. Looking to grab that additional health there. Going for the Ohan drop. Getting hung up in the middle there twice. Little quick and go. But here we are once again. Pair Gamer right there looking to spin through Janet. Jumps over Janet. Goes up. So taking things very safe, but still within seconds of each other here. Zark into 5-3, the final section of this one here. This one will definitely be a make or break into 6. Pair Gamer with plenty of Nimpo here. Opting to do some Stanley slashes, being very safe.
That's the thing right now is Blackwood came into this with 10 Ninpo. Pair Gamer came in with 40. Pair Gamer is very well positioned while Blackwood's trying to figure out how to save his Ninpo here to use it near the most important parts, such as right here.
I respect both of them despawning there on that one. Blackwood down to 5 Nimpo versus the 25 that Pair Gamer's got at this point. Neither of them opting to go for the SP boost, letting them for the little wait and go. Getting tagged by the bird there into probably the worst screen of it. Risking it for the biscuit on Blackwood's side, hopping up over on the right. No wait, and there right there's the advantage of Pair Gamer having that additional Nimpo. Just going to spin the way through, nothing to even worry about. Able just to hop on down, getting up on top of the ladder here. Last screen, we're going to be going up to the mall. Both of them having Spin Slash in tow. We've got a race into 6 for this one here. Anyone's race.
It's wild, and you know, Pair Gamer, because he had 10 Ninpo at the end, he was able to spin right through those last 2 guys at the top, whereas Blackwood had to slash both of them. Don't discount that is one of the reasons why this is basically tied.
Oh my goodness. Into 6-1, both of them. in lockstep, getting pushed back on that side. Look at this. Here we go. Here's the execution point. Blackwood getting hung up there and allowing the door to be open for Pair Gamer, who takes the lead now into the dragon statues. Blackwood getting hung up real bad. Health is a concern going into 6-2 at this point. Pair Gamer sitting pretty. I talked about this. Even just small mistakes and small issues here, he was going to capitalize on. Blackwood getting in the mosh pit, trying to get out of it. Has very few health, getting tagged at the door.
So close. All he had to do was get to 6-2 with 1 health, and he could have taken a death. Instead, he's back at the beginning of 6-1.
So now got a deep breath, dust yourself off, and go. Pair Gamer, though, steady and going as best as they can at this point into 6-2, but having some difficulty here with these bikers on the platform and the jetpack ninjas. They're getting tore up at this point, and also Blackwood also getting hung up again in the mosh pit. So some difficult moments. Here comes the bird, jumps over it, makes it to 6-2. Got 1 life in tow at this point. Pair Gamer, some scars after getting through the first screen of 6-2, but they are currently 1 screen apart. Pair Gamer not opting to go for the choke wall, going to be going for around the side on that one. I like that. Plenty of Nimpo. Stanley slashes all day for consistency's sake. Gets the quick ladder clip into the screen transition, able to climb up Hell Hallway. Plenty of Nimpo just to hold right and spin to win. Does a nice job with that. Will he go for the boost? Nope, no boost on that one. They're going to be hopping on up. Last screen of 6-2 as we see Blackwood pushing forward at this point here. But Pear having some difficulty there at this point. Going to be taking the top route, grabbing the Drapacious medicine that we saw earlier there. Some good wherewithal. Unfortunately, Blackwood taking a death at the very, very end of 6-2 now. 0 lives left for Blackwood. Has to charge forward as we see Pear Gamer going into 6-3.
And this could be a pretty clunky 6-2 section, especially going into Hell's Hallway. You gotta hope that his lack of low percent experience doesn't get him here.
Okay, so here, learning low percent on the fly at this point. No lives in tow. Knowing that if you stand here in the middle, you can wait. Ducks the bird and gets forward, gets out of there. Beautifully done.
Meanwhile, Pear Gamer's making his way through 6-3. He's plugging away. I know he was on well into PB pace coming into stage 6, and it'll be curious to see how close he is, whether he's going to be on PB pace going into Jack or Demon. If the chat wants to drop that in there, those that are watching closely, this could be a really exciting finish.
Okay, so opting for all the safeties, grabbing that medicine there, grabbing the top Nimpo, edging off the top there, hold right. And in the door we go, into the final 3, as Blackwood enters 6-3 at this point. So Spin the Clown knows 2 to go to bring home the win for Team Purple as Paragamer at this point. But these are the pivotal moments at this point. Let's see how they're feeling on their bosses at this point. Jackio, coming on up. Let's see. Clean mash. Good beginning on that one. Dodging the fireballs. Good avoidance of hugging Jack. Just taking things low and slow here. Oh, there's one hug. Trying to avoid that. There's 2. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Hugging the wall. Definitely kind of reeling it back in.
Pear Gamer has had a few inconsistent runs when it comes to Demon. And I'm sorry, when it comes to Jackio. Thankfully, it's not going to be this run.
It's not today. Moving on to the Demon here. Blackwood Recordings going to be hanging out here as well in the final screen of 6-3. All comes down to the Demon here. Pear Gamer in the driver's seat. Let's see. A couple mash locks there on it. But able to get the head down. Bobbing and weaving the shrimp at this point. Shrimp pattern being fairly nice. Pretty decent. Slashing down the tail. Has taken no hits so far. But having a hard time mashing down the heart. Takes 1 hit. Think he's got it though, Zark. Paragamer bringing it home on this one, going against my prediction on this one, but continuing the streak for Purple, 3-1 on this one, Zark. 3 unanswered points. Gold gonna have to come back on this one. That's a heck of a run there for Paragamer.
That's amazing, and it's a PB. Chad is saying a minus 5.2 PB, so I think that's probably officially a 1422 or 1423. That is awesome. GG's PBs.
GG's the Paragamer. What a time to pull out the PB on the big stage there. So good job. Just overall very, very well executed, very clean. Blackwood Recordings now flexing the mash here on the Demon. Just throwing all the shrimp out, just dumping the entire shrimp basket at this point. All you can eat. Slashing down the tail. Good avoidance there. Good positioning. And
there's that mash.
Down the Demon.
Unfortunately, he couldn't showcase it closing out a win, but he did showcase it closing out a good run.
Well, the GG's to Blackwood Recordings and GG's to Paragamer on that one, defying my prediction on that one. And now it's putting Purple now in a point where they can kick back and relax a little bit. Feeling pretty good about going up after being 1-0 to start things off at this point. Team Gold going to have to rally back, and I fully expect them to do so at this point. But GG's, Blackwood Recordings, and Paragamer for putting on a heck of a show there for us.
That was a wild run. You know, Paragamer came with his best. He came with those runs that I'd seen this week that were consistent, that were clean. He had a lot of times where he was minus 45, minus 30, minus 50 in some of his runs, and it was just putting it all together. And he's been consistently packaging it together in more and more PBs. I mean, I have no doubt he's going to be sub 14 before we know it and beyond. He's got what it takes, and he certainly showed it on the big stage today.
Absolutely. Just got to ditch some of those safety strats that they have there, and they've definitely got the consistency for it. So just some small mistakes there on Blackwood's side there, and Paragamer capitalized just some sheer consistency on that one and taking all the safeties that they could for it. and just doing a great job. Good job overall. Great job on the PB. First PB of the event. You love to see it. But let's look forward, friends, at this